Do you ever feel like there's just an obstacle in your path when it comes to doing what you want to do or what you know you should be doing for God? You can feel God calling you, yelling at you, screaming at you even, and just something stands in your way no matter how you try to get around it. If you're like me, oftentimes you realize that those obstacles or that one particular obstacle in your way is often yourself. It's amazing how many times I've stopped and I've cried out to God, God, why am I not accomplishing this? Well, I know you're telling me what to do. And when I get into the Word or I get into prayer, I am shown very clearly that it is me that is not doing His will. Whether it's because I think I can do it better, whether it's because it's not the path I want to go, whether it's not what I expected Him to tell me. Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll cry out, Lord, whatever you ask for me, I'm willing. And then amazingly, I can't tell you how many times I have stopped and I have said, but not that. Okay, I know I said I would do this for you, God, but I don't want to do that. Isn't there something else? I know I'm not alone in that. As human beings, we have this tendency to tell God that we are completely sold out, but we have limitations to that, to being sold out completely. The amazing things that God would do through us and the exhilarant feeling of obedience that we would have if we would just step aside. God's a lot of things, and He's always a gentleman. No matter how much I cry out to God to fix a situation, He's not going to fix it when I keep running alongside of Him or in front of Him to help Him fix it. He doesn't need my help. No matter how many times I ask God to change me, He's not going to change me when I can change myself. No matter how many times I ask the Lord to use me, I can't be used by Him unless I'm willing to allow Him to use me. I believe a lot of us are in that situation, and yielding to God, realizing that when we're asking God to change something, oftentimes it's us that needs to be changed. When we're asking God to fix something, oftentimes it's us needing to release to Him those things that need to be fixed. Oftentimes when we ask God to use us, we need to be sure that we're willing to release ourselves completely to be used. Otherwise, we're just going to remain frustrated and stagnant and unproductive for Him. And that will cause its own set of problems because we'll be emotionally bound by ourselves. So if you find yourself being an obstacle to yourself, step aside. Like I said, God's a gentleman. He will encourage you. He will try to persuade you. He will maybe even trip you to get your attention. But He's not going to shove you aside. We have free will. And He wants us to submit willingly. Now, I know this all seems pretty, I don't know, I guess I'd say it's pretty poignant. And I am speaking to myself. But I also know that somebody else out there can relate to me. Somewhere there's somebody else as stubborn as I am. And as unyielding and as unbending to God as I am. And hey, maybe we can talk back and forth and encourage one another. But God has great things waiting for His people. If we will willingly, when we say, God, whatever you ask, I will do anything for you, and mean it. And sometimes, I think the other thing too, lots of times when we want things to change or we want to do things for God, and we're that obstacle, it's because God's asking us to change. And so often, we look at everyone else and see how much they need to be changed, that we don't see it within ourselves, that we're the one that needs to change in order to make things better. So, all right, y'all, it was just something I had on my mind today. Wanted to share with you. I'm probably going to play this over and over in my sleep so that I get it through my thick skull. But y'all have a great evening. I'm going to go finish our supper and we'll talk soon. God bless.